Receipts. I still have the receipts. Yvette, no, I got the receipts. Now, if I don't get Kelly Rowland because I say this about, then it's gonna be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts. The receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out.
Recently was on his podcast, was speaking on how he has information on Beyonce and how he'll use it if he does not get what he wants to be some form of like extortion. Which, honey, can we get him in a slammer? Because at this point, he's just a nuisance to the industry. I feel like he is very entitled and he feel like people owes him something.
Y'all, so it looks like Solange is not a fan of Mr. Jason Lee threatening her big sis Beyonce, and she is now coming out to threaten Jason into silence if he dares to speak on Beyonce. Jason recently came under fire for threatening to spill some messy tea on Beyonce unless Beyonce forces Kelly Rowland to appear on his talk show. Well, we all know that Solange does not play about her sister Beyonce, and the streets are saying that she is threatening to end Jason's career if he doesn't back off. Okay, so y'all need to come on in the room because it's definitely tea time.
So Jason Lee threatened Beyonce or Beyonce's team and her PR person.
Allegedly.
He's alleging he has receipts on them. He's upset because he didn't get invited to the Renaissance premiere, and I'm like, okay. He's claiming to be connected, and I'm like, if you were connected, you wouldn't be mad about it. And you wouldn't try to blackmail Beyonce, now would you?
So Jason Lee recently found himself on the wrong side of the beehive when he came out to allegedly threaten Beyonce and blackmail her. Well, as it turns out, the beehive aren't the only people that he pissed off, because Beyonce's baby sister Solange is also furious at him. And if there is something that you do not want to do, is annoy Solange. Cause listen, even Jay-Z knows better than to get on Solange's bad side, because he allegedly caught the better side of her fist, and she will F anybody up. Solange don't play about her big sis, and it looks like Jason is about to find out the hard way. Okay, so a couple of days ago, Jason went viral on social media after he made some very mean comments about Beyonce. And listen, from the way he was going on and on about her, you would think that he made moves to purposely ruin his life, his career, or anything like that. Now, instead, the reason he got all up in his feelings was that Beyonce didn't invite him to the premiere of her Renaissance movie. And he was so salty about it because he thought that he deserved to be invited more than anybody else. Delusional? But he claimed that he and Beyonce have been friends for years. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of doubt that, because we all know that Beyonce chooses her friends very carefully. And I just don't see a world where Jason is ever going to make it into her inner circle. But I mean, everybody knows that Jason can't keep his mouth shut even if his life depended on it. He can't hold water, and he just has to spill the tea on everybody he knows, even those he calls his friends. He also claimed that he should have been invited because he spent more than 40,000 racks on tickets and Renaissance merch for himself, his friends, and his family, and it was unfair of Beyonce not to give him a personal invite to the premiere. But not only that, he also tried to say that Beyonce is anti-black for not inviting a lot of black influencers to the event.
I think optically, when you don't include other black leaders in the culture in the fold, I mean, not just take me out of it. The Breakfast Club, I mean, you should have honored and brought more black. And I spent thousands of over $40,000 in tickets and shared the experience with friends. And I've done a lot, and I'm not even gonna say it here, because if I did, this internet, Beyonce's good internet, would go crazy.
Y'all, it's the full entitlement for me. Talking about he spent $40,000 like he donated to her for free. Listen, he willingly chose to spend that money on shows, and Beyonce killed the Renaissance. So I don't understand why he feels that he earned him a spot at the premiere. Jason, sit your behind down somewhere. But anyways, I also found the anti-black comment very interesting, because on the day of the premiere, people were talking about and saying all kinds of stuff, how Beyonce was bleaching her skin and how she looks way lighter than she usually does and all kinds of stuff. So there were already some comments about how Beyonce was anti-black, and it got so bad that her mama Tina had to address the comments. And when Miss Tina speaks, y'all better know she about to read people for filth, and you better listen up. She said she does a film called The Renaissance where the whole theme is silver, with silver hair, a silver carpet, and a suggested silver attire, and you bozos decide that she's trying to be a white woman and is bleaching her skin? Duh, she wore silver hair to match her silver dress as a fashion statement, clown. This girl minds her own business. She helps people whenever she can. She lifts up and promotes black women and underdogs all the times. So when Jason went on and on about how Beyonce was anti-black by not inviting black people to the premiere, y'all better believe that man knew what he was doing. And to prove that he had the tea on Beyonce, he covered his mouth and spilled the tea to 2 other people in the room with him, but he bleeped it out so we wouldn't hear.
I'm gonna tell them while Johnny puts a beep over this part of the show, so you'll never know what it is, but I want you to see their reactions, and I'm going to do it right now.
He then went on to say that he and Beyonce were still friends and that they supported each other in the game.
Like, we're friends in the game. We support each other. We help each other out. Can you imagine had I put that on Hollywood?
Again, it goes to show you what he truly considers to be a friendship, because a true friend would never say that about their friend. But anyways, he seems to be alone in this friendship because Beyonce has never even acknowledged him. And the only time they ever seem to be in the same place at an industry event was where he is probably on the press list or something like that. Y'all listen, remember this video that went viral a while ago of him walking up to Beyonce at an event and she ran the other way? Yeah, that about sums up their friendship. It doesn't exactly look like an interaction between friends to me. But anyway, he then went on to claim that he had receipts to back up his claims and he was going to release it unless Beyonce convinced Kelly Rowland to come on his show and have an interview with him. Y'all, not this man trying to blackmail Beyonce, Beyonce? Boy, you buck wild crazy.
I got the receipts. I still have the receipts. Yvette, no, I got the receipts. I got them.
She needs to know.
And I think people like her publicist, who I love, and I'm just being critical. That's just what I do. You know that, Yvette. We're trying to book Kelly Rowland right now. Now, if I don't get Kelly Rowland because I say this about, then it's gonna be a problem. Then I'm putting out receipts. The receipts I just told you about, then I'll put those out.
The fires that will come of that.
I ain't worried. I ain't going nowhere. I'm telling you right now, I'm not playing this industry game.
My question is, what makes you think that Beyonce's gonna control Kelly Rowland? She's not her manager. Also, after all this, why you think Kelly Rowland is gonna come on your show after you talking about her girl like that? So he wants Kelly Rowland in exchange for keeping his mouth shut? But there are so many things that are just completely wrong with this, starting with the fact that he can't seem to understand that this sort of behavior is exactly why Beyonce wouldn't want him in her circle, because we all know that Beyonce is one of the most private celebs out there. And like her mama said, she minds her business and does her thing. Jason, on the other hand, is known for being messy as F, so I'm not gonna lie, he is kind of entertaining, and he also actually is a good talk show host, but he's very messy, and Beyonce doesn't align herself with things like that. There are also a lot of celebs who would love to come on his podcast because that's the sort of thing that their brands are built on, but Beyonce and even Kelly Rowland are not that, and Jason either doesn't understand this or he doesn't want to accept it. Plus, he is known for being extra petty and mean when other shows apart from his get high profile celebs and he doesn't. It was only a couple of days ago that he was getting dragged for filth because he called Jennifer Hudson illiterate. See, Jason desperately wanted Jenny Mai on his show to talk about her divorce from Jeezy, but Jenny decided to go on Jennifer Hudson's show instead, and Jason got his little itty bitty feelings hurt over this, and he shaded Jennifer, calling her illiterate.
Is now speaking out on her unexpected divorce from Jeezy, and she went on the Jennifer Hudson show because that's where you go when you want to get your word across, I guess. Yeah, we all know Jennifer Hudson's illiterate. Well, look,
it's the complete audacity of this man to call the Jennifer Hudson an EGOT winner illiterate. It's just wild, y'all. And this led people to start talking about how he can't handle rejection and how he needs to check his emotion when he doesn't get his own way, because this baby fit saltiness is not it. He then went on Twitter to say, in case all didn't hear me, Jennifer Hudson is a horrible talk show host. She's a great singer, a good actress, actress, a beautiful mom, but a horrible at talking. None of you watch her show, but you fake mad. Get the F out of here. So like I said, Jason gets in his feelings whenever he feels slighted, and that's why he came for Beyonce like that. But even though the Beehive is coming for him, a lot of people can't help but wonder what the tea is that he has on Beyonce. Cause if the tea is spicy enough for him to try to blackmail Beyonce and get Kelly on his show, then you gotta know that tea must be spicy as F. Well, the streets are now saying that the tea he has on Beyonce has to do with her alleged drug use. There are speculations that Jason could have come across some evidence about how Beyonce could have allegedly been using drugs during her Renaissance show. Now, y'all keep in mind that this is just a speculation and nothing has been confirmed yet. But then the rumors of Beyonce allegedly using drugs aren't exactly new because they've been around for a while now. Earlier this year, a couple people claimed that they had inside information that showed that Jay-Z was allegedly feeding Beyonce drugs to keep her under his control. Earlier this year, Beyonce's former bodyguard Ron came out to claim that Jay-Z was allegedly keeping her drugged up so that she could remain under his control.
See, hardly nobody knows, but I'll say it, man. Yeah, Beyonce's on drugs. She been on them for a long time, and you keep her that way.
Now, when he said you, he was referring to Jay-Z, and from his words, Jay-Z and Beyonce are hooked on drugs. Now, a couple of people have believed this at the time because Jay-Z has been quite open and honest about his past and how he used to sell drugs. So people felt like if he was determined to keep Beyonce hooked on drugs as a control tactic, he probably wouldn't find it hard to do so. Now, don't y'all dare start coming for me because I'm not saying that Beyonce's on the druggist. But one thing about Hollywood is that there is a major drug problem among celebs, quiet as it's kept, and it's even in our faces. We've heard stories about the wild parties that are thrown by celebrities, and it's kind of an open secret that drugs are passed around like party favors at these parties. Not to mention the wild things that happen when artists go on tour. And speaking of tours, the fact that Beyonce just finished a tour makes people wonder if Jason's supposed tea is about her using drugs while on the Renaissance tour. Over the years, there have been concerns about Beyonce looking drugged or high at events, like the basketball game that she attended with Jay-Z, and people just couldn't stop talking about how she looked spaced out.
In addition, Fred was a key player in helping to find his future ASS.
And Miss Jaguar Wright also spoke about this and said the same thing. Now, Jaguar is known for spilling all kinds of tea on celebs, and even though they try and invalidate her claims and call her crazy, nobody has ever sued her yet. Plus, her revelations usually end up being true, so people believe her. I mean, y'all remember the things she said about Diddy and how they are now playing out? Yeah, well, people believe her now. But anyways, Jaguar claimed that Jay-Z is a monster who is so obsessed with keeping Beyonce in his control that he keeps her drugged up.
He's a monster. And I've known he's a monster for years. I waited a long time to see if he would grow a conscience. And the more drugs he pumps down his wife's throat to keep her in a character.
No, girl.
She then compared Beyonce's situation to that of Britney Spears, asking fans to start a Free Beyonce campaign because she is a prisoner in her own marriage and that she is trapped.
I tell you this right now, y'all talking about Free Britney, y'all need to be doing a campaign that say Free Beyonce.
The Beyonce is free.
She is a prisoner in a gilded cage.
If Beyonce is in prison, she's in one of the most expensive prisons ever.
Yes, she is. And she's watched 24 hours a day. She's not allowed to make a choice for herself, not at all, not in any way. People think she has an amazing life. She is told what to say, she is told what to eat, she is told what to drink, she is told what to wear.
By whom?
She is not her husband's wife, she is his employee. It's a business arrangement. She was a dowry.
So people are believing that this might be the great big secret that Jason is trying to blackmail Beyonce over, and that he somehow has proof of it. Now, like I said, the Beehive is mad, but Solange is furious. According to an insider, Solange had all kinds of hard and heavy words for Jason and called him some unprintable and unsayable names that I can't even repeat because it's super heavy. The insider added that Solange allegedly threatened to hurt Jason if he even dares to release whatever he he thinks he has on Beyonce. Now, on one hand, she doesn't believe that Jason has anything on Beyonce and he's just bluffing to get Kelly on his show. But on the other hand, she doesn't put it past him to make something up just to make Beyonce look bad. She is not going to stand for it. But Solange isn't the only one mad at Jason because he got roasted online and people called him everything but a child of God. They said, Beyonce didn't tell you to spend $40,000 on tickets. You did that thinking it was gonna get you something from Beyonce. Not. If you were really a friend, you wouldn't have to buy tickets. Whether he knows something or not, he's delusional as of. Beyonce is not his friend and she does not need him for anything. He really believes that he is way more important than he is. And Jason believes that friends should be purchasable. The image is everything and that money is influence and power. He is a confused, hurt, bitter, entitled, envious individual with abandonment issues. I quit him and anything solely indirectly for, by, of him nearly a decade ago. The thirst for relevancy and fame is dangerous. Y'all, this is a hot mess, but do you guys think that Jason Lee really has some tea on Beyonce? Or do you think that he's just bluffing? Let me know what you think in the comments and check out this next video.